Options. No. I don't remember what we were supposed to do here. Ba-ba-ba. Let's move my thing right there. I don't know how long I stream today. Maybe only for a couple hours. Who knows? But I did want to play this. That's because I was in the mood to play this, and I'm trying to at least do one solo game like this a week. Oh, there. Oh, I set for one of the horses. That's remember that. Yes, of course.
That's a brioche.
Alright, let's look at my old timers.
Ooh, a crook.
Huey Subtub.
Ah, Snorbadu.
Oh, Bobby Dead Chibaboo. Oh.
Dor la bispesa.
Bibso na anifi.
Simeon.
Chebaro, don't be.
Viva Dooney.
Ooh.
No, Phoebe Lele.
Huh?
Oh no, I was talking about please don't.
Rockadoo? Yeah. Oh.
Please a lot.
Rockadoonie
No,
North.
well, this is a. Ba-ba-ba. So I found out that we are quite a bit away. This game would take 9 to 12 hours. Obviously, we would not do this that whole stream, but we currently have, I want to say, 2.5 hours in it so far. So we'll probably be done. I would say probably before the end of this year, hopefully. Sorry, that's replying to my dad.
Ooh. Roba sol mimsy. Eba saba mimsy. Une? Oh, staba 2 beams a day. Staba.
Taria Sabutu.
Vila tubes. Zaduka skal. Wiga funi.
Cereal soup.
Walla boom. Phoebe Looney. Walla Venus. Oh, Bridazine. Helaluna. A Simka. Tobe. Ooh, Planka King. Aya Korat. Likey Dago. Imago. Yes! Pipto! Cuda Resort!
Oh. After Zorba.
It'd be Gronk a steep. Bugsy Gurney.
Ba, ba, ba.
Ibuna.
Oh yeah, I forgot this is how we do this. I think I don't know what we'll do next after this. You know. But I do know we might do some art today. And yes, I'm speaking in full in advance. That's because I don't know what else to talk about. I will say right now, for those that are in my server that's been knowing what's going on with me, like health-wise, I would say I'm probably like a 6 right now, pain-wise. Or maybe even a 5 actually. Like my back still hurts. But at least I need to set up for a few hours and whatnot. Simoleon. Hello, LJ. Only person that can say that is Z, and Z is working right now. I knew if he wasn't working, he'll be in the VC with me. But yeah. But how are you, LJ? How have you been? Also, LJ, me and you need to play a game at some point, Mabadaho.
Blotsort.
Ready to
Shishubi.
try a shower. Yeah. Hell yeah, I hope your day's so well. Piano. Currently, for me, everything is just up in the air because I've been in. But you know what? Fail. See, I have a sister who lives in Florida and wants me to live there because he thinks he would probably be better on my body, and I'm just like, the time I went there was in summer, so obviously the hottest time of the year. I don't do well with hot weather or muddy weather. Not muddy, but like, you know. And she said she got upset with me over the phone when I said I prefer cold weather. And I'm just like, yes, cold weather is nice. Because my immune system... Yeah. She also just wants me to live with her. But the thing is, she has like 4 kids and she doesn't believe in locking doors. Like locking bedroom doors. Yeah. 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 Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and how kids don't really understand the concept of if it not theirs, they can touch anything they want and they won't face consequences. And they can break whatever they want because in her eyes they're just kids, they don't know better. Like her oldest son almost, the last time I was there, almost threw my Nintendo Switch out a window. I feel really bad for my sister. Yeah. Yeah. I feel bad for them too.
Me.
But at the same time, I'm just like, they decided to be that. So they should be more wary of if the kids are around. Especially if the kids are in the mimicking anything their parents say, which could get them in a lot of trouble. If you like, know what I mean. Yeah, all kids go through the mimicry phase. But I never want to have kids. I don't want kids. I'm gonna be a pet parent. Give me all the dogs and cats, or maybe a lizard. I'll have a lizard.
It be good, Toonie. It be hurt.
It always, yeah, it hard to keep tabs on them. True. But then only one of my parents knows, I assume, and that's my dad. But he doesn't really know what I do other than I play games. Mhm. All my dad knows is I play games and I get paid for doing it. And we're just keeping it that way. He doesn't know how unhinged I did. However, my mother will never know. Because my mother thinks if you play games for a living, there's something wrong with you. She's that type of person. Yeah. My dad does is just happy that I have something to do during the day. It's no difference. Yeah. There's no difference between playing in-person games like chess or sports than Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the last ones are. I need 2 more. Mm-hmm. My mom is also the kind of old-fashioned, at least with money. But I'm glad what I do. I even if I didn't make money off of this, I'll still do it. That's because I like playing games. I like chatting with people. I like making sure people that are comfortable. And a lot of people are still shocked when I become blunt. with how I see things. Okay. A wild Pokemon is inside. Catch it if you can. There's a Tausa in the water tower. Oh, there's one. No, I did not hit that dad, damn it, damn. La 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 la. What is everyone's favorite game that they remember playing as a kid? What is everyone's favorite childhood game? Honestly, I think mine is this. This is what I remember playing a lot when I was little. Vintage variant? Sorry? Oh, sorry. I never heard of Evil. I might be for real. I have never heard of Evil. But then I didn't know what Mass Effect or Resident Evil or any of those games were until I joined the VTuber community. The first one is a third-person RPG from the Final Fantasy. Oh, okay. I didn't know what Final Fantasy was until like I met some people in the VTuber community. I didn't know a lot about games until I joined the VTuber community. I'm gonna be totally honest. So the second game is from the people who used to work for the same company, but it's a whole other. Oh, okay. I did it. Hey, I'm still just checking everywhere. That's because, you know, I'm dumb.
Huh? What belongs?
Yeah, that makes sense, sadly. There are some games I want to play one day, but that's because, you know, one, money, and two, I don't know if I'll be able to handle it. because of my body hole issues.
Buddy.
But one game I want to play one day is the Telltale Walking Dead. But since I don't like zombies, that kind of swizzles my body hole issues. I just can't play it. Another game I want to play, but I just can't because Twitch time events stress me out. Is Dispatch. I want to play that game so much, but Twitch time events makes me stress the hell out, and if I get too stressed, I get sick. And I don't mean like, oh, you know, that's, you know, a simple bellyache sit. No, I mean, I went down with a fever. I get physically ill if I get too stressed. It's not there.
Normal.
What could be the last one? Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Right now my community is tied for a game. For a game to play. And the two options are the Dark Pixel Ornithology Madam or whatever it's called, or Inscription.
Larkaloozy need.
But I do horror games. I do horror games like every other week, so next week will be a horror game. I'm still deciding because I like to do long horror games are nice, but I'm okay with like short horror games. So that I'm just having a hard time picking because I normally only play like maybe an hour and a half of a game. And then I switch off. That's because I'm the type of person, if I play a game for too long, like in one sitting, I will get burnt out of it. Most of it if I'm streaming it. But yeah, no, with how I play games, like story games, is I actually may hit a community vote. If, like, for example, with horror, I just finished the Paw, the 2015 one. And, after I finished that, I left my community pick out of 4 games. Not the ads yet, okay. I don't know where the last one will be. I'm having a hard time finding it. Am I just dumb? I want to on the water. Why? Stop trying. Stop it. No more trying. Maybe I'll talk to this guy up here.
Hey, what offer? Breezadine.
Oh, there we are. I'm dumb. We found it. Okay. Southern. Welcome back, everyone. But I think what I was saying was every time I finish a game, I left my community pick out of 4 or more games to pick from what game I play next.
Aw, fribbage.
Ooby ooh chabadoo bunniesy. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hmm.
Nee.
Redaf.
Ooh. 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 Ooh.
But welcome back, everyone from my jail.
What?
Neba. Neba Morme. Oh.
Glaxon.
Noonie. Noonie Narnie. Vila. Oh, Wasto.
Ooh.
Oh.
Good.
Oh.
Heluna a Sinka. Tobe ke Raka.
Huh?
Wow, Fina sir.
Ginapa Snore. Ugh.
Fleeboxy. Oh my.
Oh, ye knew.
Woohoo. Yeah.
Grr. Oh.
Ow. Ow. Woo.
Grr. Oh, you let us Cerno.
Let's say his answer. Okay. You, come here. Socialize.
Nerve werba.
Right, socialize. There you go.
Hadaluna.
Yeah.
Bibi Judalida. Dafarana.
Compliment. Okay. Let's talk about these right here. Horseshoe. Explain properly rights. This says Rolling Express. What the hell?
Shabadoo. Ifna do. Ooh, kusapika. Ifna do. Hifu. Hadaluna.
Oh.
It's okay. Have some M&Ms. They make me feel better.
Yes. Lapsie Irby. Yabana.
Okay, I'll play nice. You have on the
Niba
sword.
Nor.
You make me play
Targa. Emanor.
Yeah. No, let's. But how many do I have? Okay, I have more than enough, yeah. You.
Warba Jow. Simbawachi. Marbadu.
Pineapple panic, oh boy.
Akazubi. Ruska Francie Piñapa. Oh, Phoebe Lele. Popsy and Irby? Yeah. Chambi Lord.
Uh.
Ah. Oh. Huh? Hmm? Hmm?
Ruska Francie. Yapa.
I hope everyone is going to have a good day today. No, no, no. Oh, God damn it.
Blood sword. Zaibi Yupa. Every nib. Sailing.
Dag, dag. Newbie pizza.
Linky goo. Weeva Dooney.
Huh?
Bubsy Gurna.
Hmm. Ah. Oh. Huh?
Little
Ruska
fish.
Francie. Yapa. Ooh.
How much do I have now? 13 anymore. Love you like the sun. Oh, the hearts. Yeah. This is this is a model I told you that is like one of the most well-known models, but it does toss a pretty penny. Let me see what I think it's this one. No. Model 7? No. Hold on. I will find it. Model 5. There we go. Model 5. deep in this. If people want to know who did the model, or like, you know, anything, like the artists and stuff, I'll tell them. We don't date deep.
Dag, dag. Will be a new a new
Morgul.
Yeah. I got this model when I got the Christmas, yeah.
Normal.
There's one model that I have my eyes on that I want. It does cost a pretty penny as well. But maybe one day I'll get it. Oops. There's a... If I can find it, I know I have a save, but if I remember to save, I'll post it in the server, because for those that don't know, if you are a content creator, in my server we have recommendations for model or artists. I say so. My phone, I base it off of how many gifts that have been bought. So there has been 69 gifts. So I'm trying to fill 69 slots. So you could base it on that. Or I try to keep my phone below 100 unless it's for a special event. So like, you know, Toff. I'm celebrating my whole anniversary of streaming in a few weeks. Toff. Like during special events, I waste it a bit. But you can always just, you know, I noticed that people tend to buy people things that might just make them happy. So what you can always just do is just like make a folder and her birthday. We don't talk about that. Which one is it? We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. You hear me, Seth? We don't talk about my birthday. It's not for a while anyway. My birthday is in July. I'm safe. I'm safe. You hear me, Seth? You hear me? Well, you hear me? Not today. In a few months. It's not my birthday, Mother Duffo. I hate when people... My birthday's in July. I'm a summer baby. It's every day for a few... No. Please don't. I'm not being serious. Please don't. I hate when people say, "Oh, happy birthday," when it's not actually the person's birthday. It's a pet peeve of mine. It's a big pet peeve of mine. I don't know why it's a pet peeve. It just is. But yeah, no, my birthday is July 24th. And the week before my birthday, I'll probably do not a subathon, but more like a celebration, because I do not stream the week of my birthday. I take that week off to celebrate with my family and to celebrate with my friends. I do not stream that week. But on June 2nd, I will be doing a anniversary subathon, and it will be timed. It will be my first ever timed subathon. Save me. Save me. I have seen what happened to awards in Phantom Stream. I am sailed. You know, I don't think mine would get that high.
On dot.
I don't think mine would get that high. Well, okay, hold on. I realize I'm not just counting subs. I'm counting followers and ways to add to the timer. I might get that high. Maybe. But I'm still sailed. That's why the week before, I'm just going to hide in my little hidey hole and say, I'm not healed. Do not perceive me. I'm just optimistic. When on, okay, the only time you're on optimistic is if you're not feeling good. I know this. Simi. But I am safe. I am safe for now. And let's say we like, 700 followers. Yeah, true. True. And then we have me who would just say, I like you. You're now my friend.
Lushu.
Wiga fully.
Mula bawua. Gurfunkel. Flip torque.
They loved on nerd. What? What? What happened? Huh? When people say this loved on to me, I did sailed. Nothing yet. What do you mean nothing yet? See, I'm sailed for whenever I will, Whis. Hold on. I'm sailed for whenever I will, Whis. 700. Because, I'm not that far away. I think I'm like 17 followers away right now from 700. And once I reach 700, I have to play a Minecraft horror map either by myself or with my partner. With Z. It just depends because of his war. But I'm still sailed. I'm a Sith. If people don't know, I don't swear normally. I only swear when I am sailed or pissed off. It will be both when I do that. Yeah, I'm 17 followers away from 700. Let's not make that happen. I'm fine where I am. People don't need to see me sail. People don't need to see me. LJ. People don't need to see me just sailed, right? People don't need to see me people don't need to see that. And I'm just a little die. I'm just a little die.
Stand by do. Stand by do. Ooh, Sheba.
But yeah, no, I have 2 followers goals for this year. One is a 700. If I reach that before my birthday, I will play a whole Minecraft map. Either with friends, or my partner, or by myself. That depends, you know, timing and who's available. But if I reach 800 followers before the end of the year, I will do a cover. A song cover. I'm saved for that one. Because I hate my voice. But apparently people would like to hear me sing for some reason.
Blanca Slane. Thistle.
Dukes at the weeby. Tarno.
Oh, who's you?
Hoobadoo
Amalo zeep zeepy dork, barnork.
Tidri snurts, tiflush, tiguanabu, kuza thika. Ooh. Chaksa your
Chambu dorba yaka siminamu.
Tekoro kings. Rakurbo iblor. Adumi chumbo rambi.
He said, speaking of, I still have to put together since. Yes. Honestly, I will ask your community. Like, make a list or a poll of songs you know you can sing. And ask your community. Obviously, it's up to your decision. But then you can have a little feedback from your community of what songs they may want to hear you sing. From like a poll or a list. Like, for me, I think I would sing lullabies or more soft songs like that kind of well. That's the only way I would do that I sing well, if I'm singing a lullaby.
Nibanorb, Targa Fleemanorb.
Ibni dak tenrub zimboin.
Like, one of the songs I might sing for the cover is a Steven Universe song. Me and Broadway, yes. Honestly, I think the song I may sing for the cover is going to be a Steven Universe song. Or Fly Me to the Moon. Hi, Dodo. Are you starting to see a blanket for my bed again? Yeah? See, if I sing Tunsui, that would bring my speech issues and my Tunsui accent all together, and that would not be good.
Ivnash.
Peche pretty petale.
Blanket thief. Yes. Well, I'm not kidding. She literally does seal blankets. Like, what? I have this this big throwaway blanket that I put on my set at all times. One day I was in the bathroom doing, you know, things, and I hear my door open. Now here's the thing. I'm home alone most of the time. My dog likes to open my door and then just try to seal a blanket, thinking no one can see her doing it. So doing some event while it's episode, but I'm mad. Man,
Days anew.
my-
Kafuna.
Doobie Wadong.
Yeah.
listening to people talk, I do that sometimes. But sometimes I just see Signy, I'm like, oh, Signy.
Bappy, Bognish, oop, huts do it.
Oh, I don't like that sound.
Smoothie.
Huh?
Let me ask if you send me a twit.
Chamba do spurgle.
neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fazuni Lana. Oh.
Walla Fina Cirque. Yalla Koi.
Shishub.
It was amazing, Dr. Yes, this is
Chaka Asi.
my son is so good. Oh, that blew up too.
Ah, Nobugarne.
Oh, yuck.
Simuner is none. Is not.
Huh. Vipaba. Gurk Ibsi Hixa.
Yo, Rube. Is not. Resorb.
Neep.
We are so behind on Soda right now. I need some more help. She's a pretty hair.
Ooh. How Tibi? Flini Bouja.
Yohaya, I need to.
Ooh. Breju Banuja.
Wackadoony Herg.
The F stands for up.
Wackadoony
The-
Herg.
My die, how did that stand for what? It's.
Wiga Funi. Maybe Snorble.
Heavy chip.
Yeah.
Oh, hello! Yeah, take with me after the water. I send you some.
Ibuna.
No, let me. There you go. 1 of 14. Okay. See, I don't remember this place well. But I remember I got stuck on this one. When I was playing it when I was little. Give me the shiny. Shiny. You can never have enough shinies, everyone. Shinies are a way of life. And if you disagree with me, then no, you don't. I mean, what? I didn't say anything. I don't have a problem with shiny fiends. No, I don't. Nope, not at all. Oh, over here. Okay. How do I? I can't see. Dame. But jump. Let's jump. Oh, we need. Let's save this with Ashley. And then I play last night. Welcome back, everyone.
Idna.
Let's do.
Chamba
Me
do
Vorgo.
Ibuna. Will be a noofle. A noofle. Dag, dag.
Neeb. Nerf a shoe. Neeb.
Actually, I don't remember the T-Bines. Oh, there we go. There you go. Come on. Bananas. Hey, only a few more. Yeah, I need to figure out how to get down there. I do not remember how to get down there. How are there bananas in the ground? I feel dumb.
Ah.
Ugh.
Neeb. Neeb.
Oh, that's one right there. what is everyone's plans for today?
Do.
Various bits of scientific wonder that made up my internal world set and double set. Goddamn. Hey, robot. Hey, robot. Let me then up until can I have a new bat? My bat is currently having some issues right now. Tell me what how I deal. Well, you can like give me a robotic spine, please. So I'm not in my Spain, please. Please and thank you.
Bubsy Gurna. Kuda Resort. Oh.
Make it snappy. Don't tell me what to do. You do not tell me what to do. Only one person tell me what to do. I mean, what? No one slipped that. I didn't say anything.
Yabo. Iflus.
Garbunjal. Na. Badanj. Holly Vondur. Boni Heje. Buji Kapaj.
Oh, ow. Ow.
Ebajak.
You. You know what? Fail. Fail. You like no. Hold on. You blew up a robot so many times that you made him race to it. Stop being scientist and find a new hobby.
Stwee. Hushu Ibler.
Jamboree.
There's a weeb
Safa
of me.
Fahaza
Woohoo.
Luna.
Shoo.
Johaba.
Dag.
Badu.
Weeba. Hadib.
Talk to Toronto Weeds knockoff.
Hadib.
Lini Buja. Ucha.
Timmy Wib. Iflu.
Wackadoony Herg.
Ebajak. Felina Bejo.
Shish Noob. Noopy Nark. Lotzor Kubat. Arbadu Ripsy. Prina Pebs.
Help the robot. listen. Okay, we need more bananas. Okay, we'll only mine for a bit. No. Can I, meh! I didn't mean to hit save, but you know what? You should never don't want to save my game so much. And turn down the sound first a little bit. There you go.
Huh? Newbie! Neat.
And then come on. Meh!
Oh!
Here. We'll buff this, huh? Sorry for that, like the hot spam. It just like a thing I selected, and I'm not going to change it because I don't feel like it because I'm lazy. Let me see. I hope everyone's having a good day so far. My day is going alright. I'm still in pain, but there's nothing I can really do about that. One of the meds I can only take at night. There you go, we have enough now. Now where is the pirate lady? Yeah, I don't know where the pirate lady is. Is she just stuck somewhere? I don't know where she could be. I will be taking a break shortly. Did she literally just saw I do not know what she to be? Did I already break the game? I think I already broke the game. Ah, where is it? Ah, yes, water the wall. Oh, she's stuck over there. One moment, pirate lady. I'm coming to save you.
Huh.
Huh? Wabba.
Yes.
Wa- Mhm. Aha. Ooh, Zabazigata!
Come on. I think the only way to really fist them if we leave. Simi.
Dag, dag.
Are we taking a break in 12 minutes? No, not 12 minutes. 22 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, too. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, too. Ibuna.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah, too. Yeah.
Oh. Nope.
Ibnu, ibna. Yeah, yeah, too.
Oh, yes. Huh? Newbie. Edna, too. War, but
Come on. Now this sucks. Nope. Hello, Timmy. How are you? I'm okay. I'm a little bit in pain, but there's nothing people can do about that. Hell yeah! I hope you slept okay.
Ibuna.
A tiny bit, but not a lot. But it's okay. Yeah, new meds that I can really only take at night. Because it does make the it makes you drowsy.
Dag, dag.
Hmm.
Ibnu, Ibna.
Welcome back, everyone, from our jail.
Ibuna.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Ibuna. Do. Ibnu, Ibna.
Jibahua.
You know I fail.
Jack, Jack.
We're going to save. And then twit.